RYUC AAR Core Essential, Source and Origin of Our Creativity, the single most important observation. This recording is part of a series of recordings reporting on an exploration into our creativity, collectively entitled Releasing Your Unlimited Creativity After Action Report, abbreviated as RYUC AAR. This particular recording addresses the essential understanding which functions as a starting point for understanding the source of our creativity. This is one of 7 core essential concepts in that carries an understanding and implications that go beyond any words which can be used to describe the concept. Background on our creativity essentials and RYUC material. Creativity essentials are the concepts, principles, ideas, or whatever one may wish to call them, related to the source out of which our creativity arises. The journey of exploration into our creativity revealed the essentials needed to be addressed and understood in some way by an individual if one desired to move as deep as possible into their own creativity, creative ability, and creative power in this incarnation. Otherwise, one would be placing self-imposed limits on their creativity. Essentials are not the building blocks or the foundational items used to create something. Rather, the essentials are about the stuff out of which the building blocks and foundational items arise. It is suggested you ponder, contemplate, do your own experiments with the creative essentials such that you know their truth for yourself. Here I wish to bring to your attention we each have a very unique perspective of creation. What I say and write about on the topic of our creativity with its relationship with the creative essence of creation are my comments based upon my observations and experience from the journey of exploration into our creativity. If what I say resonates with you, use it. Otherwise, it's recommended you do your own contemplation, experiments, and explorations into the variety of topics discussed here to see what is true for yourself. It has been observed, whether we realize it or not, our creativity and our creative imagination are our most valuable asset and underlie all that we do and all that we are. Here it needs to be noted, to create is to bring something into existence. It can be a way of being, an object, an organization, or simply acting on a thought one may have. To create lies on a spectrum of creating an exact copy of something on one end of the spectrum and something new, original, never before seen or experienced at the other end of the spectrum. To create a copy of something, mind is very important to give all the details. But for something never before seen or experienced, mind is of little value. A truly original creative endeavor is to bring into existence something not previously experienced or significantly different. The human mind only knows the past and what it has experienced. If what is to be created is something never before experienced, mind is of little value. As such, we must enter and live in the unknown for any truly original creative endeavor and learn how to feel the flow of energy giving rise to the new creation. The Releasing Your Unlimited Creativity understanding is directed at empowering our unique subjective perceptions, our creativity, and our creative imagination. The desired endpoint is to open the door to access the depth and breadth of our creativity and move into a deepest possible awareness and experience of our connection with the creative essence of creation, which provided us with an invitation to dance with it. The Releasing Your Unlimited Creativity is directed at stretching our perceptions about reality to open the door to the depth and breadth of our inherent creative ability and creative power. Some of the concepts presented are analogies and serve a pedagogical purpose. One should not assume what is presented are exactly the way creation works, but are effective for our creativity and the exploration of our creativity and of creation. The source and origination point of our creativity, the single most important observation. The single most important observation and experience summarized from the journey of exploration of our creativity, said in the simplest way using a human perspective, is that the creative essence of creation, the stuff out of which creation arises, seeks to experience its creation through us. The energy within us giving rise to our life and sustaining us is a unique expression of the creative essence of creation and our body is the vehicle this creative essence chooses to use for the experience it desires to have. We, our unique subjective awareness, has been invited to dance with this energy and with the energy desires to create an experience. The source of this observation, as stated, was not found in any book. It is not something that I was taught or told to me by some other. Rather, it was something to which I was led to piece together as a result of how I was guided to the experiences in my life. It became clear to me, given the experiences to which I was led and how my life unfolded, my life was guided towards this understanding by the way this presence within revealed itself to me over my lifetime. Here I should add, it took approximately 73 3/4 of a year to understand sufficiently to summarize the statement as it is now stated. If you wish and desire, you can have similar experiences in your life to verify for yourself the accuracy of my observations about our creativity. Importance of this single most important observation. To access the depth and breadth of our creative ability and creative power available to us, our challenge is to understand this statement intellectually and make it experiential in our life. Each of the key points of this statement are summarized below, and each is further discussed as a creativity essential in the Releasing Your Unlimited Creativity After Action report. This recording and other subsequent RYUC After Action report recordings are directed at providing information to help form a deeper relationship with and an understanding of what this creative essence of creation desires to experience through each of us. Creative essence of creation, the origin of our creativity. It is noted here the term creative essence of creation is used to refer to the unseen that gives rise to creation. Given my experience with the creative essence of creation as a result of the journey of exploration into our creativity and what this presence catalyzes within us, I prefer referring to this presence as a creative essence of creation, wanting or desiring to experience itself in its creation through us and within us. All that really can be said about this stuff out of which creation arises is that it's creative. It creates. Other than observing a few attributes of this creative essence of creation, such that can be experienced as consciousness, energy, a field of infinite possibilities, and, as perceived by the human perspective, having no form or arising from a nothingness, to say anything more is really speculation. The creative essence of creation, experiencing its creation through us, is the origin and source of our creativity. Experiencing the creative essence of creation. Here we need to realize the flow of energy within us giving rise to our life was created by the creative essence of creation to fuel the experiences it desired to have. The creative life energy will carry us to where we need to be. As we live the life we were created to experience, we will be energized by that life, having the health and the passion for life that we need to have these experiences desired by the creative essence of creation. Whether we realize it or not, following the feeling we feel within us is what we do when we just allow ourselves to be carried from life experience to life experience. Without any thought of being carried from experience to experience is how most individuals journey through life. We just respond to whatever next presents itself. There's nothing wrong with this approach, for this process was designed to work this way. However, our mind becomes involved with its judgments and preferences. Here we need to realize our thoughts are a response to the energy we sense. We follow what we feel, overlaid with our judgment and mental interpretations of what we are experiencing. Our thoughts are mental interpretations of what we feel. When we create some story about our life and what we think our life is about, we often end up moving away from the life we were actually created to experience. This creative essence of creation within us, seeking to experience creation through us, is experienced in one of three ways. Although these three ways can be discussed separately, they are entwined with each other. One way is as a presence within seeking to guide us through life. A second is as a creative spirit pushing or pulling us to create something specific to us. And the third way is as a flow of our creative life energy and heartfelt creative passion. When we awaken to the flow of this energy and what it seeks to experience, our life begins to change. Although there are three ways we can awaken to this energy, awakening to the energy lies on a spectrum. At one end of the spectrum is an involuntary awakening where we feel we are somehow being pushed, if not forced, into a direction of life. Often events which move us towards what the creative essence of creation desires are characterized by accident, illness, disease, or some type of event which we consider somewhat traumatic. At the other end of the spectrum is where alignment with the creative essence of creation is as easy as following a feeling within one's being and having the focus and courage to stay aligned with it. We will experience one or all three ways as described. Experiencing the flow of the creative essence of creation as an internal compass. We experience this creative essence of creation by the way it causes us to experience and engage life in three ways. Its primary way is through feeling and can be done unconsciously or consciously. The feeling can be described in a variety of ways, such as a desire, a longing, a push, or a pull of some type. Feeling the flow of energy within us carries us to the experience we have. Often the feeling can be experienced as a deep, heartfelt passion or a desire arising from the heart's desire to create something of importance to ourselves, but not necessarily for ourselves, or simply a passion to act from the heart. When followed, the feeling is often described as following your bliss, following your heartfelt passion, following the heart's desire, being in the flow, and a variety of other similar descriptions. This path is about feeling, but not following any feeling we have. Rather, this path is to discern what gives rise to a particular feeling and contentment with what we do in life. When we align with the flow, we can allow the energy and the particular feeling it provides to guide our life when in alignment with the flow. The feeling can function as an internal compass. Following the feeling of the internal compass was the primary way I experienced the creative essence of creation through the first 44 years of my life. It is to follow our inner wisdom in how it causes us to respond to life. Intuitive insight, synchronicities, even guideposts can routinely be seen to arise when in alignment with this feeling. In awakening and following the flow of this energy, this flow will give a direction, meaning to our life. When one is aligned with the flow and feeling the contentment in what is occurring, there is a knowing. One just knows without a doubt, this is what I should be doing in and with my life. The easiest way to become aware of feeling this creative life energy within is to focus on one's breathing and feeling the chest rise and fall. As we feel the chest rise and fall, then bring one's attention to what one is feeling within their body. Then bring our attention to the heart area of the chest to see what we are feeling in the heart and see what it desires to create. Following the feeling of the heart requires us to navigate from the heart. This means to allow the feeling within the heart to set the intention for our life. Then have the mind figure out how to do those things in life that allows one to live with activities that either align with those feelings within the heart or move in a direction in life towards those activities. Experiencing the creative essence of creation as a presence within. The second way this creative essence of creation is experienced is as a presence within. This presence can be experienced within each of us. Although each person will experience this creative essence of creation in their own unique way, it is generally experienced as a presence. This presence has been described in various ways and can be described in as many unique ways as there are individuals. You could call this presence a divine presence or whatever you wish. To attempt to describe this presence anything other than a presence is to move into a personal perception, if not speculation, as to what it really is. This presence is something that is present within us that cannot be explained, but it can be felt. But is not felt as in a flow. Rather, it is felt as if sitting very close to another, feeling their energy. We feel their presence. However, this presence can be experienced much like a deep undercurrent, gently carrying and directing us through life as if drifting along a river current. Experiencing this presence as an undercurrent, almost at the unconscious level, was the primary way I experienced this presence. Then it would surface much like a submarine to deliver a message and then submerge, running almost unconsciously until the next message. This presence within appears to lie within or behind our mind and can be experienced as directing or guiding our life. Intuitive insights, knowings, which is knowing something without knowing how we know, internal guidance, a still small voice, and the like are all a result of this presence within. This presence wants us to access the power, ability, and health to achieve what the creative essence of creation created us to experience. If we examine our lives and look carefully, we can begin to see there is a presence there in our life. This presence is paying attention to our life and is commenting on our life. At times, there are moments that it feels like we are being helped by hidden hands, by something in us that knows us better than we know ourselves. It needs to be understood the creative essence of creation seeks to experience its creation through us. This presence has been there since our birth and carries us through life. As such, this presence may not be interested in our comfort, but it is interested in the truth of our nature, whatever that truth might prove to be. One can come to observe where what our mind wants is often at odds or in conflict with this presence desires. So one can expect some type and kind of ego struggle occasionally, if not throughout the process. But only in living and being our true unique self can we see our unique gifts as to what this creative essence of creation desires to express through us. It has been observed if we do not live to some degree what the energy within us, which brought us into this reality and what it desires for us, we will never find fulfillment. There will always be this feeling there is something we are missing in life or something just doesn't feel right. Our life does not give us the fullness that we intuitively know is available. We become puzzled as to why we do not feel fulfilled and life is worth living. When we are not going in the right direction and something has to be changed, we will be guided, nudged, and directed in some way. But we must be open to listening to the information this presence provides. Otherwise, if we're not paying attention, it is quite common we will have some type of intervention in our life, if not an experience which some would judge as a traumatic experience. How we access and unravel what this presence is communicating to us and to understand what is asked of us unique to ourselves involves sorting through all the distractions in life to which we are continually inundated. Our human mind will filter all our experiences based upon what we believe and direct our creative life energy into what our mind chooses based upon what our mind has come to believe and the preferences and prejudices our mind has for almost anything. The preference of our mind gives us a choice. The choice is to follow the presence as we understand and perceive the presence unique to us, or follow what our mind has come to believe is important for us based on what it has observed in our life. The typical recommendation is to quiet the mind and listen for guidance, although generally a good recommendation is not quite that simple. Rather, one needs to become very mindful and aware of exactly how and what this presence communicates to us. Our necessary action is not about quieting the mind. Our necessary action is about becoming aware as to what is being communicated. This requires a solo journey. Others can advise us and suggest ways to understand what is asked of us, but it is our journey and no one can take this journey for us. The key is to become mindful of our thoughts, our actions, and the choices we make and why we make the choices we do. The third way to experience the creative essence of creation is as a creative spirit and a creative passion. The third way to experience the creative essence of creation is as a creative spirit and a creative passion. I first became consciously aware of the existence of the creative essence of creation within us in the exploration of our creativity as our creative spirit. However, I did not experience it as I now explain it here. Rather, I experienced it within myself and others as a creative spirit and an associated creative passion. I did not initially recognize it as the creative essence of creation. I talked about the creative spirit and our creative life energy as both being intertwined and integrating, the connection reflected in the relationship between our mind and the heart, giving rise to the mind-body connection and the healing potential within this mind-body connection. I found there was something which we desired to create and express in and with our life. It could be to create something or a way of being. It is what can best be described as an energy desiring to be expressed that catalyzes and energizes our life. It was observed if what this creative spirit desires is not expressed in some way, we will feel something is missing in our life. Only in time did I come to understand the deeper connection between our creativity, the creative essence of creation, and this relationship to our life. What I came to understand, both feeling the flow and experiencing the presence within, can be experienced as our creative spirit and its creative passion. I made the connection when I realized we are the stuff out of which creation forms, and we create in every aspect of our life. The stuff out of which creation arises lies within us and gives rise to our creative ability and creative power. It can be said we have the same power of creation which created creation and the universe within us and available to us in every moment. What I came to understand is the creative life energy and its passion is reflecting the presence within us in the flow of the energy. And the creative spirit is also reflective of experiencing the presence within. In seeing this presence as a creative spirit, we can communicate with the creative essence of creation, creator to creator. What this means to us and what we do with this understanding is our story and our journey through life. A recommendation. Before making a quick summary of the creativity essentials found within the most important statement and further discussion, my fundamental recommendation to anyone as a result of this understanding is, regardless of anything else I say or write about, I highly recommend you become aware of the creative life energy within you. Whether that energy is expressed in feeling the energy and how it directs your life, however you experience the feeling, or as a presence within, as an intuitive insight, a knowing, or as a longing, a push or a pull to act, to create something in some way. Allow yourself to feel the expansion within and seek to feel the flow of the energy being unrestricted in any direction. Learn to navigate or live from that inner direction and have your mind figure out how to make it happen. You, of course, will need to do your own experiments to see what this presence within and creative spirit looks like and how it works for you. Summary of the creativity essentials arising from the single most important observation. As said previously, to access the depth and breadth of our creative ability and creative power available to us, our challenge is to understand the single most important observation intellectually and make it experiential in our life. Each of the key points of this statement are summarized below, and each is further discussed as a creativity essential in the Releasing Your Unlimited Creativity After Action report. Creativity essentials are the concepts, principles, ideas, or whatever one may wish to call them, related to the source out of which our creativity arises, which I have observed are essential and should be addressed and understood in some way by an individual if one desires to move as deep as possible into their own creativity, creative ability, and creative power in this incarnation. Essentials are not the building blocks or the fundamental items used to create something. Rather, the essentials are about the stuff out of which the building blocks and foundational items arise. It is suggested you ponder, contemplate, do your own experiments with the essentials such that you know their truth for yourself. Implication of the single most important observation. The main implication of the creative essence of creation flowing through us and sustaining us is to understand we too are creative. We cannot not create. The essence of our being is about creating. To create is to bring something into existence. Every action we take brings a way of being brought into creation. The stuff of creation. The creative essence of creation is the stuff out of which all of creation arises. The journey of exploration into our creativity revealed all that can really be said about this stuff from out of which creation arises is that it is creative, it creates. However, it needs to be understood what can be said about this creative essence of creation is very limited. But there are some attributes of the stuff of creation that we each are able to agree upon. We are the stuff of creation. It is stated the creative essence of creation, the stuff out of which creation arises, seeks to experience its creation through us. We are the stuff out of which creation arises. However, the implication of being the stuff of creation goes well beyond the words and are something to be experienced. The true meaning of this statement, that the creative essence of creation is experiencing its creation through us and its ramifications, are unknown. Our awesome creative potential. We are not separate from creation. We are the very substance from which creation arises. When you look out at the physical universe and all that exists and all what is inside of the universe in all of its details, it is important to note that creative ability and creative power, which created the physical universe, is within each of us. But what does this really mean for our creativity? The creative essence of creation seeking an experience. As stated, the creative essence desires or seeks to experience its creation through us. What this means is the energy giving rise to our life is our direct experience of the source of creation. This creative essence is something it wants to express or experience separate from our mind and wants and desires of our mind. Here, it is about learning how to live in alignment with the energy and what occurs when we are out of alignment. A unique expression, a solo journey. We each have a very unique subjective perception of creation. No one sees and experiences creation as we do. No one has our pain. No one has our joy. We each are incredibly unique. Here the question is, what is being asked of our uniqueness? The body is the vehicle. Our body is the vehicle the creative essence of creation has chosen for its experience and is an integral part of what the creative essence desires to experience. This gives rise to the understanding the role of our body and what is available to us through our body consciousness and the body wisdom for the journey we have been invited to experience. Invitation to a dance. The creative essence of creation seeks to experience its creation through us. Our unique subjective awareness has been invited to dance with this energy and what this energy desires to create and experience. However, being created out of the essence of creation, we are creators and cannot not create. Our problem or challenge with the creative essence of creation is to understand the dance in which we have been invited to experience, to co-create with the creative essence of creation and take ownership of our experiences. The power of focus and attention and awareness. As stated above, the creative essence of creation, the stuff out of which creation arises, can be experienced as consciousness, energy, a field of infinite possibilities, and as perceived by the human perspective, having no form or arises out of a no-thingness. As such, one will find the power of the focus of our attention and awareness is our most powerful creative tool. Our energy will go where we focus our attention and awareness, and accessing the flow of energy which we enter will awaken our awareness to aspects of ourselves and creation of which we are unaware. All of the topics presented here are further elaborated upon and discussed in the RYUC After Action Report.